Hi and welcome back to Abnormality. So this week I'm going to try to be a bit more brief because I am a rambler and I know that about myself, but I ramble anyways. So I have two things then for you. One is a bunch of footage. I took some footage and photos yesterday because my brother and I had an opportunity to go fan flying with the cadets. It's where we went up in a Cesna 176. I think that's the number. But we went up in a Cessna 176, which is like a little small 4-person at the most airplane. And we went from the airport where our squadron is to two other airports around here and then back. And it was so cool. Like, we were flying with one of the captains, and the captain, Captain Gandwin, but that's his rank. He's an officer at our squadron. But he was flying the plane, but then he'd explain to us how to steer, and we actually got to steer and hold the aircraft steady and do a couple big turns, and it was so cool. It's hard to tell when we were turning like that on camera, but I did my best. Anyhow, it was such a cool experience. I've been up in a plane before, and I've definitely seen pictures from planes, but it's totally different than being up in it yourself. And I haven't been in a plane, I don't think, since I was 10, 9. I was quite a bit younger, and so my memory of it isn't super clear. And so that was amazing. It's one of those feelings where you kind of look at it and you realize that you're so small and the world is so big, and that's one of the most hopeful things to me. I've always wanted to be on a boat in the middle of the ocean because that's what my family does. We are boat people, not plane people. But I've always wanted to, and to an extent I have. I've been able to look out and only see ocean, but if you turn your head a little bit either way, you can see land. But I've always wanted to be just totally surrounded by water because, I don't know, maybe some people think it's hopeless or secluded or make you feel too small. But I think the smaller I feel, the bigger I realize the world is. And I don't know, it's one of those things that make you realize that you need God and you need people in your life. And I don't know, it just kind of puts things into perspective. It puts problems and it puts the bubble I end up putting myself into some semblance of perspective. Maybe that makes sense, maybe it doesn't. But I have some cool flying footage, and I've been every week, is why I've said last couple videos, what my plans changed. I was gonna put flying footage in the last couple weeks, and then I didn't go flying because it was cancelled, and then I went to Edmonton and then it was cancelled, and finally yesterday it wasn't cancelled. Because look outside. It is absolutely beautiful out right now. After it rained for, it snowed a bit in January, and then it's rained since then, and it's May 6th. I have a calendar. Oh, look at my calendar. It says it takes courage to fly. Anyway, oh, that's awkward. Utterly random, but it's a cute calendar. So the second thing I have to talk to you about is, I think the phrase is beauty is skin deep, or maybe it is beauty isn't skin deep. But I've been thinking about it a lot this last week because I am a teenager and I am in high school, and so a lot of people I know put a lot into their appearance, and I don't. You can probably tell based on watching any of the videos that I have spots all over my face, or that my hair is a mess, or whatever. And I've kind of let some things go. I care about dressing nice, and I care about looking presentable, but I've also kind of challenged myself and who am I impressing? Who am I out to impress? And if I'm not actually out to impress anyone, then why do I have to look perfect all the time? But I think we kind of forget that our beauty doesn't lie in our skin, that you're not a better person because you wear makeup or because you feel pressured to. Maybe that makes sense, maybe it doesn't. But I know a lot of people are very conscious of how they look. And I actually asked a girl when I was in middle school, I asked one of the older girls why she would put more makeup on in the bathroom at lunch. And she said it was like a security blanket. Like, she didn't have to face the world as much because she could kind of hide behind that. And we were reading Lord of the Flies in school, and it talked about in the book how one of the boys put on this mask of like clay and stuff he found. And because he could hide behind the mask, he could be the person that he was too shy to be otherwise. And I thought that was interesting, because we put so much of our value in how we look. And we spend so much time worrying about that. Not everyone, but I know I do it. Lots. Maybe, I think for me, maybe it's more I don't want to stand out too much for looking good, and I don't want to stand out too much for looking bad, so I find my place in the middle. But really, who are you trying to impress? Because anyone who really cares about you will care about you for however you look. It's the story of the girl who, I don't know, there was this story when I was younger about someone who hadn't seen their, like, fiance or something in a really long time. And they're like, why aren't you dressing up nice to go see them for the first time in a while? And the girl was like, he will love me the same in rain boots as high heels. And I was like, that's cool. But I know all the time I see it in school and I see it everywhere, and all the magazines at the grocery store are of beauty tips and how to make your skin look nice and how to do this and that to be the best person and how to get the guy by looking good. And I think it's important that we look the way we want to. It's important to look nice because, yeah, some of your worth is tied up in that. And it does help you to be confident, and those are good things. But why should you have to look a certain way for guys to like you? And why should you have to have this particular haircut or wear this brand of makeup to be beautiful? Why does our beauty have to be in our skin? I hope my beauty isn't in my skin. I mean, it would probably be bad if it was, because some days my skin just doesn't work out well. I was out in the sun yesterday, and luckily I was wearing a hat at band practice, but I have sunburn all across my back, and I get sunburn all across my face. If beauty was in my skin, then I would be ugly for most of the summer, because I burn. Pale skin, I burn. It's a thing. And so we stop looking at ourselves inside as beautiful. We stop thinking and considering that whether you can draw or dance or play a sport, or whether you're good at talking to someone, or even good at playing video games, or good at your job. We stop putting our worth in what we're able to do and who we are as people, and start putting all of our worth into how we look and comparing ourselves to others until we can't see anything good in ourselves anymore. So, I think that's a bit of a spiel. We are not our outward appearances, and it's taken me time to figure that out. I don't think I have, and I think most girls will never totally be able to look at themselves in the mirror and love what they see. I don't think boys will ever be able to just look at themselves in the mirror and love what they see, because we're human and we're insecure and we compare ourselves to each other. And there's always something we're going to want to change. You can be the most or you can be seen as the most beautiful person outwardly and still look at yourself and not see that. And we can judge entirely based on looks. I do it. I am entirely guilty of that. I think most people are. We're guilty of looking at someone's skin and saying that that's who that person is because that's how they look. And I think it's a dangerous game. It makes us forget that we're all human and no one's perfect. So I think that's what they got. I hope you enjoy the footage of the flying. I mean, most people, lots of people, some people go up in airplanes, maybe a lot, but I don't, and yesterday was gorgeous. So thanks for watching. My name is Julia, and this is After Melody.